It's a bioacoustic sensor. It's kind of like a radio channel. So every animal has its own radio channel, and this audio can record. It's a bioacoustic sensor. It's kind of like a radio channel. So every animal has its own radio channel, and this audio can record 24/7 the Spotify playlist of nature. And you can then detect the bird is singing, when is the insect is singing, when the bats are singing. And then we can also measure the activity over time. And it measures without seeing it, because we just need to hear it. And one of the things we believe is different. First, every kind of ecosystem has its own sound. For example, deep forests is probably more active, but this is a newly restored site close to the road. So you have a little bit less activity. And now we're going deeper, and then you can probably hear more and more animals over time.
Nawadaan gyud ang mga katawhan diri sa Bitaogan West o mga pagkaon nga kinason, alimango, pasayan, tagsa na lang gyud, minus na kayo. Pero karon murag nibalik-balik na ang kuan sa kaning alimango, mga kinason tungod nining gihimo nga pagpananom og mangroves. Kinahanglan nga ato aning suportahan ang gihimo sa Oceanos aron ta nga ang tanan nga lumulupyo niining barangay makabenepisyo ang tanan niining mangrovans.
Okay. So essentially, like what David has mentioned in the video, bioacoustic is literally the study of sound patterns in natural environments. So every animal has their own sound frequency, and they're like very different, and that's how we kind of like detect their presence or their absence, and the ecosystem health in general. For example, if you have more sounds in a particular area, then probably it's healthier, right? So so of course, when we are recording all these sound data or bioacoustic data, there will be like a lot of data. It's like a huge pool of data that we have to deal with, right? And we cannot, but it's going to be super hard to actually listen to each one of them. And so that's why this is where AI comes into the picture. So how does it work? Number one, we record the animal sounds in nature using any tool, which one tool would be AudioMoth that Iman will talk about more later. And once we have the recording, we use the open source sound data, which is available to teach the AI of the different animal sound like. So the more we teach it using all this data, and the more data that we have to actually teach it, then the better it gets to actually detect an animal sound. And then after that, we would be able to give AI to listen to the new recording that we have, and this way AI could actually identify that particular animal, right? So a little bit of, like I mentioned at the very beginning, which is on how bioacoustics and also AI can gauge ecosystem health. Number one is, of course, to monitor the biodiversity. So the more species sounds that we have in a certain area, it could indicate that that area is like a healthy ecosystem. And at the same time, we'll be able to track which animals are active at different times of the day. For example, in the morning, there will be like certain birds, or at dawn, there will be certain kind of animals that will be active at that particular time. So in a way, we could see in terms of temporal as well. And secondly, we are able to compare some areas. So in the case of Oceanus, we actually deployed the Audiomoth in different areas, which are restored areas and also disturbed areas. We would like to see the differences and in terms of ecosystem health within these two areas, and we could do that using bioacoustic or sound data. Right, and like I've mentioned, when we're dealing with bioacoustic data, we need to have a tool which would allow us to actually record the sound data. In the case of Gainforest, we are actually using Audiomoth, which is literally this thing that you're seeing here. It's very small. It's like the size of your palm, so it's very compact. So it's perfect for remote locations, and you just have to deploy it or put it there and then just leave, and then come again after 2 weeks, for example, to retrieve it. So it has a long battery life. So that's why you can just leave it in a particular location. And also, Audiomoth would allow you to connect it with another application, which is called RBMON. And the RBMON would help you to remember the GPS location, because sometimes, we are deploying it on trees and all, so sometimes we don't remember which tree. So the GPS location would really help in terms of locating it. So with that, I would like to invite Emmanuel, who is the project lead of Oceanus Conservation in the Philippines, to share with us today regarding his experience deploying Audiomoth in Caguait, Philippines. To you, Eman.
So in partnership with Gainforest, we actually started our partnership last 2022 when we had to collect 3,000 data points for mangroves in Batangas and in Caguait, Surigao del Sur. So now the ongoing project of Oceanus Conservation together with Gainforest is the bioacoustics, where David and Fatin came here last month and taught us how to deploy and set up the Audiomoth. So now I'll just be sharing the knowledge that I've gained in setting up the Audiomoth and also deploying the Audiomoth. So before you start, it's really important to have a checklist of your equipment that will be needed in the field and also in the office after retrieving the Audiomoth. So first, you have to have your Android phone, because it will be needed for downloading the companion app in your cell phones. It doesn't work in iOS phones, so it's important to have an Android phone, your laptop or computer for the setup, and your Audiomoth. So here's the Audiomoth, guys, as you can see, as a vlogger. And your AA batteries that will be needed. So for my knowledge sharing right now, I don't have the batteries right now, but I'll just show you how to set this up. And you also need your USB micro B cable or adapter to connect the Audiomoth device to your computer to configure it before deploying it. And your SD card for the recordings that will be stored in the memory. So if you could just follow this, for the project managers, it's kind of hard pitching in online. So you need to have an RBMON account. That's the repository of your data, and all data will be uploaded there. The Audiomoth configuration app that you'll need to download on your computer, also the Flash app, the Time app, and the RBMON companion app on your phone. Then for the field officers or person on the ground, you need to bring your phone with you and download the RBMON account and the RBMON companion app. So when you start setting up your AudioMath, you need to have an account in arbimon.org. So you need to sign up. So you just need to click the sign up or start analyzing. Then you need to fill up the needed information. And afterwards, you'll see a tab that says create a new project. Then you have to fill out the form and click the create project after you have filled out the form. So for us in Oceanus Conservation, we use our project site name for our project and start date, and we just click this and as an ongoing project for us to upload other data. Okay, next. Then to set up your AudioMath using the AudioMath configuration, there are 3 applications that you need to download. First is AudioMath configuration, AudioMath time app, and AudioMath flash app. So make sure that you have installed these 3 apps on your laptop or computer before configuring the AudioMath device. Then, for this to be turned on, you need 3 AAA batteries. Next slide. Then once that you place the 3 AAA batteries, you need to connect the AudioMath to your laptop using a micro B cable or adapter. Then you have to ensure that all the 3 apps are open on your computer when the AudioMath is connected to your laptop. So for the first configuration, you need to open the AudioMath Flash app. Then in the app, click on the latest firmware version and download it. So this is what the AudioMath app looks like this. So you have to click the download for the latest version. Then when prompted, click Flash AudioMath to install the firmware. So once we're done with the Flash app, so we're gonna open the AudioMath time app. So when you open the AudioMath time app, you have to set the time. So you're gonna see the correct time here in the upper part to see if the time is correct or not. So that so that there will be no issues with your device and your recording. And also for this, it's time for you to name your device. So what David taught us is to get the first 2 numbers in the device ID part, then the last 2 digits or values in the device ID, so that it's easier for us when we retrieve this and when we upload our data, we have the correct we match the correct device to the files. So for example, it's kind of long, the 24 this number, and we just write that in a masking tape and tape it here in the device. So instead of this longer one, the device ID is 24E7. Next. So once we're done with the second app, the Flash app, we go to the configuration app. So we open the configuration app, then we go to the recording tab, as you can see in the slide. Then we choose the 48 kilohertz. So these records are birds, bats, insects, and other sounds. Then when we go down, you'll see the sleep duration. So you need to set it into 4 minutes, the time that it will rest, and you need to also set the recording duration into 1 minute. So in every 5 minutes, it records 1 minute of sound, and it rests for 4 minutes. So this would be suitable for a 2-week deployment. So you'll record a lot of sounds during this deployment. Then after the recording tab, just beside the recording tab is the schedule tab. Then you need to start recording by 12 midnight and end for 1 day recording and at 12 midnight also. So it's a 24-hour recording for continuous recording throughout the day. So it rests 4 minutes and records 1 minute of sound in your side. Then after the schedule tab, you go to the advanced tab. So always require acoustic chime on switching to custom. So you'll know also that your device is working once you hear a chime when you configure it on your phone. So you need to tick that one. They always require acoustic chime on switching to custom. Then after all of those has been done, you need to click the configure AudioMath. Okay. So after configuring your AudioMath, you also label the SD card with the same ID that you've placed here on your device. So it's gonna be a smaller masking tape that you'll attach to the micro SD card. Then you need to insert the card here. So you can see here. Insert the card here until you hear a click sound. Then you're ready for deployment. So you have to also test before deploying to your site. You need to test your AudioMath. So after completing the steps, test your AudioMath to make sure it can record. So there are actually 3 options here. The custom, the USB are off, and the default. Here. Yeah. So move the switch to default and let it record for a few minutes. So you just have to do this to default. Then let it record for a few minutes and turn it off again. Then you have to remove the SD card. So you're just gonna press this to remove the SD card. Then check the SD card on your laptop or computer if there are files present. Then if there are files present, that means your AudioMath is ready to deploy. So you're just gonna insert again the SD card. Then you're ready to deploy. So in deployment, you need to download the RBM1 companion app in your phones, right? So in the laptop or the RBM1 website, you'll see your projects there. And the projects, when you have the RBM1 companion app on your phone, you'll also see the projects there. And also, you'll see a base map on your cell phone. So when you deploy, you need a waterproof case because this will be damaged if it gets wet. Then if available, use a camouflage case to help it blend with the surroundings. And also secure the AudioMath that it would not be stolen. And also remember to make sure that the placement of the AudioMath is high enough that it won't be submerged during high tide. Okay. So when you deploy, before retrieving, you deploy, right? So you need to make sure to pair. So in the instructions in the configuration app, you'll hear a chime once this has been paired with your cell phone. So you'll hear a chime and the red starts recording, and you'll see a green light and a red light once it starts recording. So you need to pair this one with the RBMan companion app in your cell phone. So when you leave this for few days or how much you want to leave it there, or the data that you want to recover or to record. So it depends on your goals and objectives on how long would you like to leave this AudioMath in your sites. Then for retrieving your AudioMath, you need to get it from the tree and turn the switch from custom to USB or off. So this one is in custom, then then switch to USB or off. Then once you're back in your office or in dry place with your laptop, remove the SD card and you check the recordings if there are files present in your SD card. Then when you upload, so after checking that the files are there and all, you need to upload your files in the RBMan app online. So you insert the SD card into your computer, then download the RBMan uploader on your laptop or computer. Then you need to sign in into your account. Then you'll see this. As you can see in the screen, you'll see these features. So you click the import files, and let it read the SD card, or choose the folder where your recordings are stored. So the uploader will also display the project and the site name where the AudioMath was deployed. So you already created this project name before when you set this RBMan online, and you can see the site name also. So once you can see the project name, the site name, and the file that has been uploaded, click import and start the upload to transfer your recordings to RBMan afterwards. Then when you check your uploaded files, you need to log in again to RBMan website and go to your project dashboard. So you can see here, so the internet here in Caguayat is quite bad. So I can see the recordings when I screenshotted this file. So you can see your recordings here, the number of recordings, the number of sites created, and all the data that has been recorded from the AudioMath. And you can now view visualizations for each sound afterwards. I think